Hey beauties, good morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you are. You're welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Winnie, and in today's video, we're going to be learning how to make this shawl collar lapel jacket. This is the pattern drafting tutorial, and in the next video that I'm going to be uploading to be the sewing video. So if this is what you're interested in, definitely keep on watching. Like my videos, share with your family and friends, and don't forget to turn on the notification bell so you don't miss out anytime I upload a new video. And without too much talking, let's get to the honey of the video. Let's go. I love you. Hey beauty, welcome to my channel. Like I said, this video is going to be the pattern drafting, and that is what we are doing now. So we are creating our block, and to create our block we are going to use our hip measurement divided by 4 plus 4 inches. That is what I am using to create my block. So I'm just marking that out from one edge of my paper, just to just to determine my workspace, so that I will not go past that line. All right, and once that is done, the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2. So I'm going to mark out my shoulder measurement divided by 2 plus ½ inch, and from that point I'm going to also take my armhole depth. So you're going to take your armhole depth and also mark that out. So this actually depends on you. Everything that I'm doing here right now, I'm marking ease with it, because this is a kind of, it's a free jacket. All right, so I'm marking ease with everything at the armhole area, and every side I'm also going to be adding ease. So what I did here was to mark the midpoint of our armhole depth like we all normally do, and then I am drawing out my armhole curve. So now for the neck width, I'm going to be using 3 inches. That is what I marked. Then I went ahead to mark my 1 inch for the shoulder slope, and I connected that line. All right, so we are going to be working on the back first. So this is the back, and the back neck depth is 1 inch. So I'm going to be connecting that with a curve, and once that is done, I am going to mark out where my waistline is. For this client, my waistline is 17 inches, so I'm marking that out. Our waistline is actually 16 inches, but I want to use 17 inches for this, plus allowance, ease, and what have you. All right, so that is the waist. So now the next thing I'm going to do is to mark out my bust measurement divided by 2. So I'm adding 1.5 inches for ease and another 2 inches for seam allowance. All right, because it's going to be lined. Okay, so at the waistline, I'm going to be doing the same thing. I'm marking out my waist divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches for ease and another 2 inches for seam allowance. So I'm just going to connect that line just like that, as you can see me do. And then at the hip line, so this is how long my jacket is meant to be. Is longer than the normal hip lines, way below the knee, way below the hip. All right, so what I've already marked that out, and this length is okay for me. So I marked out my hip divided by 4 plus 1.5 inches for ease, and another 2 inches for seam allowance. All right, so now I'm just connecting that with my pattern master, as you can see me do. So that is basically it. This is how to go about the back pattern. All right, the front is the major thing, but you shouldn't panic. It is very easy. So I'm going ahead to cut it out now. So I'm going to cut it out, and I'm going to set it aside. Then we'll now work on the front. So this is my length. All right, so the length is 24 inches. So I added about 2 inches for the length is 32 inches plus seam allowance. All right, so I realized that I didn't even mark the length, and the pattern was too long, so I tried to cut out the excess. That is just what I was doing here. Then I'm going to go ahead and cut the rest of the pattern. So I'm going to cut it out, and then I am going to set it aside. So I'm going to label it. Make sure that you are always labeling your pattern. Actually, I always keep my patterns because you cannot be, drafting pattern every time. Anytime you want to make a particular outfit for a client or for somebody, you draft a new pattern. Pattern paper is getting expensive every day, so I keep my pattern. I just decide to check whether it's for a size 8 or for a size 12, and I just label it like that, and that is how I keep my patterns. All right, so now let's work on the front. This pattern paper is not going to be enough for me, so I'm going to quickly join another one at the top part. So I'm going to use my tape to hold it down. I'm just showing this because I want to be as transparent as possible, so that when you are doing yours, you'll not be like, the pattern was not enough. It was so difficult for me to work with. I did not know how you went about. This is how I went about it. I joined my own pattern. So when you are doing yours, you should know that you should join your pattern if it is not enough. This is just like a 2 cent advice. All right. So after joining my paper, now we can now work with our pattern. So I'm going to be going in by about 10 inches from the side, because we are going to be creating our lapel, and the lapel, which is the shawl collar proper, is kind of big. It's very bold. It's not like 2 inches or 3 inches. It is very, very bold. So that's why I'm going in by 10 inches. All right, so and then I drew that into a straight line. So now from the top also, you're going to come down by about 6 inches. You can do 4 inches, but to be on the safe side, from the top you are also going to come down by about 6 inches. So I've just taken my back pattern now, and I've placed it on that line, the line that I drew. I've placed it on it and made sure that it is the same length with the normal the new pattern paper that I just made. So, and I'm just trying to trace it out, because we're going to be using the back to trace out the front. The back and front is going to be the same, so just that the front has a lapel. That is the difference. All right, so I'm tracing it out now, and then that is what we are going to be using as our guideline for the front pattern. If you are new to my channel, you're welcome to the channel of beautiful people. On here we do everything DIY about garment making. I show you everything. There is no gatekeeping here. This is where you can learn without nobody hiding anything. All right, so if you are not yet subscribed, please subscribe before you go. Like my videos, drop comments, and I love to see your comments. Comments make me know that you love what I'm doing, you like what I'm doing. Comments even make me know that what I'm doing makes sense, because this thing is like something crazy. You're talking to somebody that you've not even seen, someone that you don't know. So if there is no feedback, you might want to go crazy that do they even like what I do, like do they even see it as something relevant. So please drop comments. I like to hear from you. Tell me it was helpful, ask questions, and I see any comments I don't reply. I reply all my comments. All right, so please comment, like my videos, share my videos, and engage. All right, please engage. Thank you, and God bless you as you do. So that part that I just cut out now, I realized that I was not supposed to cut it out, so I went ahead to use my tape to tape it back down. All right, and once I was done tracing, so I am going to just mark out where the waistline is. So then we are now going to start working on the front proper. So this is the waistline now. This is where the waistline is. So I'm going to mark that out as the waistline. I'm sorry, my marker was fading. So I'm going to mark that out as the waistline. Then I'm also going to make sure that my full length is intact. So this is the full length of the of the, I just marked that as the hip line, but it didn't stop at the hip. It's lower, it's way lower than the hip. All right, so now the next thing is to determine your breaking point. You can put your breaking point at your bust point or somewhere below your bust point or at the waistline, but for me the breaking point I want to use is at the waistline. So what I'm going to be doing is that I am going to mark 1.5 inches from that waistline all the way down, and then I'm going to connect that into a straight line. All right, so I'm going to connect that into a straight line. So once that is done, the next thing is to connect from that edge to the neck point, just like that. It's as simple as that. As you can see, it's very simple. After marking the break point, mark the button overlap, which is the 1 point, then mark from that edge to the neck point, then make sure that you extend the line to the other side so that it can be enough for us to mark out our back neckline. So the next thing you are going to do is to pick your back neckline, measure it all round, measure what you have there, and then from the neck point of the front, mark what you measured, what you just got for the back, mark it. Then from that point you just go outside by about ½ inch, and then just connect that line back to the neck point. I hope you understand. If you don't understand, rewind it and watch it very well. Then from that point you are going to extend your collar. How wide you want your collar to be. Some people can do 3 inches. Don't forget, anything you measure here is going to be divided by 2 by the time you are done. So for me, I went ahead to measure about 6 inches because by the time I fold it over, it's meant to give me something like 3 inches. I think I did more than 6 inches. I can't really remember now because this video was long, but just, you know, it's your call. All right, it's your call, whatever you want it to be. Just know that whatever you mark as the white base is going to be divided by 2. So if you mark 3 inches, that means by the time you are done sewing, the collar will give you something like 1.5 inches. I hope I'm making sense. So just determine how wide you want your shawl collar to be, and then from that point you are just going to create it with a curve. You can also use a straight line if you want, but I want it to be a curve. All right, so I just went ahead to, you know, draw out the curve, and this is basically it. We are done drafting the pattern. All right, so now for the front you are going to mark the midpoint and come out by about ½ inch, you know, so that it doesn't, so that there is no bulge at the bust area, just to reduce that bulge. And then you are just going to cut that out, and you then go ahead and cut out your pattern. All right, so this is basically it. This is the pattern. Now we are done cutting the pattern. So at this down part, I want to create something like a curve, just to form something like a design at the down part. I don't want it to just be straight. I want it to be kind of slanted. You can leave yours straight, but I wanted it to have some kind of detail at that front area. So that is what I am doing now. And then the next thing I did was to cut out my pattern. You can decide to cut this collar and the main body separately, but for me, I am going to be cutting everything together. All right, so that it can be one full piece. All right, so this is the front pattern. We are done cutting. So the next video that you are going to be watching is going to be the sewing tutorial. So this is the front pattern. You are just going to label all the necessary parts so you don't get confused by the time you want to sew the main fabric. All right, so at this point I was just thinking that my the shawl collar was kind of wide and I was not liking the detail. It was not as curvy as I wanted, so I'm just trying to reduce it here so that everything can be well aligned. All right, and then I'm just trimming off the parts that are not really nice. So that is just what I'm doing. So voila, once that was done, we are done with the tutorial, and I am just trying to label it. Thank you guys for watching. I hope this video was helpful. If it was, don't forget to let me know in the comment section. Till I see you in the sewing video, I love you and I care. Bye.